And joining me now live at the desk is Coign CEO and founder Rob Collins, who served as the National Republican Senatorial Committee Executive Director during the 2014 midterm elections. Rob, great to have you on the show today. Okay, I already told you I'm a Midwest guy, so I'm very interested in what's happening there. And it's not just personal, but it does feel like you can kind of see how a far-left candidate could win in New York City. But Wisconsin, a statewide race, completely different. How do you see this whole Francesca Hong thing playing out? What do you expect, and what does it mean for the Democratic Party?
Well, latest polls have her up 30. Looks like she's going to coast to victory. She's going to defeat the incumbent governor's preferred candidate. And it just shows that the Democratic Party has lost control of their base. They have a message that's wildly out of step with the American public. And if you look at Wisconsin elections the last year, 20,000 votes switch, and you have different outcomes in 3 consecutive elections in a row. So that's a quarter of Lambeau Field changes their vote, and you have a different candidate win. So these races are very tight. And when you have poor quality candidates, David Axelrod called her, basically an unvetted, a bad candidate. If you're so weak as a candidate that Bernie Sanders won't endorse you, even though you've signed up for everything he's for, it tells you that the Wisconsin race is going to be a real opportunity for the Republicans, and that this poor candidate, will reflect not only on the entire ballot in all of Wisconsin, but you're going to start to link together. You're going to see the Republicans start to link together Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Mondami in New York City, and that entire DSA progressive coalition that's coming together that is for a very radical agenda.
Establishment Democrats are really nervous about this. My sense is they think if candidates like Hong, El Sayed won last week, let's say Flanagan, Minnesota in the Senate race, these kind of candidates could fundamentally change the character of the party and their electoral prospects. Are the stakes that high for Democrats right now?
They are. I mean, midterm elections are a choice. It's either a temperature check, how are we doing, or a menu. And in 2012, the Republicans had bad candidates. So even though Barack Obama wasn't as popular, the Democrats did very well because on the menu were bad candidates. This election, you're going to see a lot of bad Democratic candidates that are on the menu and giving a choice to the American people that is not appealing.
You notice they're trying to erase a lot of what they said in the past, right? They're trying to erase woke. They're trying to take back what they posted as just, that was a bad take, right? We were crazy 5 years ago, but we're not there now. Can you flip that quickly and have the electorate believe you? Are voters going to dig into the past and say, we think you are now who you were, and we don't like that?
I mean, candidates are responsible for what they say and what they believe. And I think the Republicans are going to hold those candidates accountable. And I think the Democrats are going to spend a lot of time, Fong in particular in Wisconsin, walking back some of her comments. But it infects the whole ticket. So candidates in Nebraska, candidates in South Dakota, they're going to start getting questions about, are you the same as this person? And they have a really tough choice between alienating their far left base, where all the money comes from, where all the enthusiasm, all the door knockers come from,
right,
or trying to stay moderate enough to even have a chance in those states.
So let's talk about all that. The kind of the tertiary, secondary effects, right? The down ballot races. The thinking is Democrats have a great chance this year to take back the House. Who knows, maybe take the Senate as well. With the kind of candidates who are winning primaries here, do you think that jeopardizes that and puts back in play Republicans' opportunity to hold the Senate, hold Congress?
I think the Republican chances have gone up. Democrat House candidates, their favorability is running 20 points below the Republicans. Same in the Senate. So it's not 2018, which was the last Trump midterm, where what you have is the less popular party is asking for a promotion. And that's a really hard place to be. And you can't be auditioning candidates in August if you're trying to take over 4 Senate seats. There's not enough time. And it shows that you have not solidified your field. In 2014, when we had the biggest sweep in the history of the Senate for the Republicans, we had most of our candidates in place by March. And they're still fighting out with bad candidates here in August. Tough situation for the Democrats.
Establishment Democrats, quickly, are they doing enough to reclaim their party from the DSA, or do you think they're hopelessly behind at this point?
Wildly behind. They have ceded control of this party to the left. They're afraid of the left. They never attack them aggressively enough, and they should have derailed some of these campaigns months ago, like we did when you saw the Tea Party movement really blossom, and we had some really weak candidates. We spent a lot of energy kind of weeding those bad candidates out, and our candidates were for America. Our candidates wanted us to get back to the Constitutional
Republic. I always hear that Tea Party comparison to the DSA.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but they loved our country.
Yes.
The DSA, not so much, right?
Yes.
So I don't know if I love that.
They just wanted to get back to first principles, where the DSA wanted to destroy this country.
Right. Rob Collins, great stuff. Thanks for joining
you.
us tonight.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thanks.